Brasil brasileiro, mulato insoneiro, vou cantar-te nos meus versos.
2003 looks like just another year in the Michael Schumacher tyranny era, but when you look at it more deeply, you can see that there was a lot more to it than meets the eye. From rule changes to dramatic races and a disputed championship, this season was straight up packed. Chris has done a review of 2003, so check that out after you're done here. The Brazilian Grand Prix was the third race of the season, and suffice to say, Ferrari were in deep shit. So not a lot has changed since then, really. Schumi binned in Malaysia because that's a German thing it seems, and McLaren were leading the Constructors' Championship, with Raikkonen leading the drivers after getting his first victory on said race. However, Rubens Barrichello do Brasil qualified on the pole for his home race, so things were looking positive while little Matt was going berserk. The starting grid was Barrichello, Coulthard, Webber, Raikkonen, Trulli, Ralf Schumacher, Michael Schumacher, and Fisichella. Also on the grid on 17th and 18th respectively were Antonio Pizzonia and Cristiano da Mata, because those were the days when we had too many Brazilians in F1. So, William Woods. What's next, J. Jonah Jameson? I really regret not bringing a Brawley.
They've decided that they're going to run with just one option wet tyre in 2003, meaning that both Michelin and Brazil are only permitted to bring one type of wet tyre.
Since when do we make our own rubber? I mean, it makes sense. If anyone knows how wet we can get, it's ourselves.
There is now, of course, if there is any dramatic change, a strong perception that no one really knows how to run Formula One, and we don't want to see that.
Boy!
And racing just outside Sao Paulo at Interlagos, which in Brazilian means between the lakes.
Portuguese! We speak Portuguese! You fucking Mark. Ralph Furman tried his hardest, but he always kept getting dragged back by his car. It's as if the poor man had a target on his head or something. I think the warm compress works better if you put it under the helmet.
Well, there was a high attrition rate at this round last year.
Okay, I forgive the use of Oasis in Germany 2000. Boo! Boo this flag! Boo this flag! Cheer this shirt! Cheer this shirt! And the 2003 Brazilian Grand Prix is go behind the safety car. What a disgrace. I hope we never have to see anything like this ever again.
So, the safety car coming up the hill out of the Yoncao corner.
Oh no, James, not you too. The 2003 Brazilian Grand Prix is finally go for Rio, and Barrichello immediately loses the lead on the first turn. Being a Barrichello fan is still just as hard as I remembered. See the battle for second place heating up? Well, fuck that, let's watch Ralph Furman in the pits. I talked about the battle heating up, but Heidfeld took it a bit too literally. I gotta side with Chris on this one. Fuck Kimi Raikkonen. Oh my fucking god. I'm starting to see a pattern here. Get fucked, Max! Montoya did it first, and he did it better. Yes, I'm still a Max Verstappen fan. But it looks like some people didn't have the same luck. And then Montoya proceeds to let his guard down. What even is this? Wait a second, Barrichello is where? Fuck off! Yay! Michael Schumacher is great! Water is wet! Pope's shit in the woods! Woohoo! Wilson saves the car just in time to keep it from the barrier. Never mind. Foreman snaps and takes Olivier Panis with him. This is how you do a call forward in big style. The mayhem is cut short by another safety car. Maybe this can be good. Maybe I can go to the beach again. The drivers are immersing themselves in Brazilian traffic as well. What's the matter with that Toyota in 4th place there?
Well, we're getting reports from the pits that Fernando Alonso has had to come in again because the team put slicks on his car at the first pit stop.
Those tires aren't groovy enough for the rain, but that's a mistake, it happens sometimes. No, this is F1, not MotoGP. So, how long do you figure you're gonna keep this job? And we're fired up and getting going again! Who knew a backmarker could put up such a nice fight? Sweet mother of potato Jesus, we're going round again! Hello, bye-bye, see you in Brazilian stock car in around 4 years. Okay, this shit is getting really serious now. This never happens! How did this happen? Get that tractor off the fucking track! Oh, come on! Ralph? Really? Ah, fucking thank you. Jos the boss continues to taint his son's ancestry.
Second a lap slower than Coulthard and Barrichello, so at the moment Raikkonen...
Looking sharp and looking to at the very least stay alive. You're not helping, Jensen.
As Pitsonia comes into the pits.
Mate, come on! This should serve as a warning that not every kart driver is like Montoya.
That's good stuff if Alonso gets around the outside of Magulo there.
Why do I keep pointing these out? They only make me angry. It's not good for my heart. Wait up, let me get my scale models. So Mark Webber can keep his car in the race, but Michael Schumacher can't. I'm not trying to imply anything here. I'm just saying. Yes! 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 Something good finally happened! Finally! At last! Yes! 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 No, you know what? I'm not gonna scream. I'm not gonna cry. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I haven't seen this image in about 14 years, and let me tell you, it's still just as awful. Wait, holy shit, am I seeing this right? Huh, well, we got a stealthy one here.
Hey, look out the window, James. The crowd are leaving. Some of the crowd are leaving.
It's a well-known fact that Brazilians only care about sports when they're winning, so I'm not surprised. A Jordan just overtook a McLaren for the lead. This is not a drill. This isn't 1999 either. The scenes! Ooh, damn, that was a nasty crash. I hope nobody else bins it there. What are the odds of that ever happening anyway? I don't know what the odds are, but they are stacked against me. And even back in the day, Alonso couldn't resist a dramatic crash. If there's one thing I learned in the Brazilian Grand Prix, is that you don't celebrate until you really know it's over. For all you know, your achievements could go up in smoke. Though I guess after all you've been through, it's quite deserved. That's not very nice, Eddie. No. That's not right. Fisichella won. He passed Kimi. I showed it just a minute ago. No! This is wrong! Get that smug-ass little bitch off the top spot! He didn't win!
A bigger championship lead for Kimi Raikkonen and a fairly lonely celebration with Fisichella up there.
And on that bombshell, we end this epic race, but not before adding one extra little bit. Before San Marino, the FIA decided that Fisichella had indeed won the race, so they gave him the win and arranged a little ceremony to make it official. It's things like these that make F1 almost impossible to take seriously, and why shows like mine and Cook's exist. So yeah, this was a very good race, with many interesting things happening, which left a 5-year-old Matt very sad at the time. But like I said, being a Barrichello fan was hard back then, and it didn't get much better after that. At least not until Braun GP happened, but that's a long way off. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you on the next race.